And there you're watching the daily edition of Your Trades on ET Now. This is Priyanka Pal along with me, Snehi Shah. We did saw a consolidated session today. Nifty, however, the range was broad enough. It was around about 150 to 180 points. But then we did saw that Bank Nifty was trading with a downward bias only. And broader markets did some good moves coming in from small cap space. Many counters from small cap and mid cap were surging well in trade today. In fact, mid cap was up by 0.5%, but small cap gained nearly 1.5%. Some of the top gainers on the Nifty were from the metal pack, Hindalco, Tata Steel, stocks like Shriram France. They were at the top of the notch, and top losers were from the auto space today. M&N, Bajaj Auto, private names like Axis Bank, IndusInd Bank. However, PSU mid and small cap stocks, they were showing sign of strength today. So clearly the sectors like metals, energy, commodities, they were up in trade today, and there is where the strength lied. And gain out sectors, some of the subsectors where we saw broad-based move, stocks like sugar stocks, Triveni, Bajaj Hindustan, Symboli Sugar, textile counters, apparel counters. In fact, apparently the entire textile space, if you talk about Vardhaman, Welspun, VIP Clothing, Benari spinning mills, and in fact not just textile, but at the same end, apparel counters like Trent and other names like Raymond's and not Raymond exactly, but then a lot of Trent counters like Trent, Keval Kiran, Future Enterprise, Mirza International, smaller pack like stocks from the broader market. They were showing strength today. So overall, it was a good stock. A lot of stocks on the brokerage note were also move today. UBS did come up with a note on Zomato, wherein the target price has been hiked to 320 levels, and they've spoken about the increased GMV estimates on the food delivery, as well as the EBITDA margin estimate has been increased for 1 to 2 years. That's one reason that Zomato was up in trade today. Bernstein came up with a positive note on Paytm today with a target of 600 price. And of course, one more stock which was up in trade today on the brokerage note was MOSL. Glenmark Pharma did a good show in terms of numbers, and now there's an upgrade coming in from neutral to buy rating. The target price has also been increased by the brokerage house to 1850 levels. However, there were many other packs like Energy Pack were up on windfall tax announcements, Snehi.
Absolutely. It was the entire oil and crude space, that was in focus because windfall tax on petroleum crude has been reduced. So you had the likes of HPCL, BPCL, Chennai Petro, all of these stocks did phenomenally well for themselves in today's trade. But like Priyanka was mentioning, on the back of brokerage notes, one stock I want to highlight on that front is Voltas, because 5% higher is where that stock has closed. And Jefferies has maintained a buy rating, hiked the target price significantly by 500 rupees per share for Voltas. So that stock also did pretty well. Entero Healthcare was also up 5% on the back of a brokerage note by Jefferies. That also price has been hiked to 1,510 rupees. Shriram Finance, Aurobindo Pharma also on the back of brokerage notes. But well, yes, some other stocks that were big buzzers in today's trade. You had Kaplan Point on the back of in fact, multiple order wins. 3 letters of intent coming in for Kaplan Point. So very big move coming in for Kaplan Point today. Godfrey Phillips did phenomenally well. That was also locked up 20% in trade today. You had Genus Power, DCX Systems. Since the start of the trading session, both of these stocks have been locked in upper circuit of 5% each. Glenmark Pharma also 4% on the back of the new launch, as well as a brokerage note coming in. But other than all of these stocks, then we also had another company, not exactly a stock, but a company, a group that was making the buzz today, and that was JSW Group's stock, JSW Cement, that is all set to make its D-Street debut very soon. DRHP is out. It's looking to raise 4,000 crores as well. All of these were the top news in today's trade, so lots to watch out for. But let's also bring on board Milind Vasudev, Senior Technical Analyst at Arihant Capital Markets, to make sense of the market move today. And Milind, when you take a look at the market today, Nifty has been rather range bound. You also have Nifty Bank, Nifty Mid Cap also in tandem. One space that has broken out today is the Nifty Small Cap space. What do you have to say about that? Do you think the strength in the broader markets is once again, re-emerging, resurfacing, and do you think we could see a couple of sessions where broader markets continue to outperform the benchmarks?
Yeah, good afternoon. First I'd like to comment on Nifty. Now, if you see Nifty, last time I was there on the show, I said that the 50-day moving average line, which was somewhere that time at 24,000 level. So I said that 24,000 level was a make or break level. And if Nifty on Thursday trading session made a low of 24,099, and Friday's trading session was a very strong trading session with a gap up. So that clearly indicates that 24,000 has now remained the base for the market. On the higher side now, yes, there are some resistance at present, like 24,795 is one resistance. If Nifty takes out that resistance with huge volume, yes, then you could expect Nifty to head higher towards, say, 24,900, and even it can test the prior all-time high going forward. Now, in tomorrow's trading session, if you see, if Nifty opens down with a small gap, then again we could see some buying emerging over there. And because Nifty has got a good support now at 24,450 levels. So we are positive on Nifty, and one should adopt a buy on decline strategy going forward. Now, even if you see the breadth of the market as from Friday's trading session has started remaining very positive, this gives a clear indication that a broad-based rally is going on, mainly in mid and small cap counter. For that reason, we are seeing today that mid cap and small caps were the front runner in today's trading session.
Cap and small cap stocks were the front runner, and especially stocks like economy facing sectors were doing very well today. What we saw, Milan, and the way you've spoken about Nifty also, indices also. So what is that? Are you picking large caps, or would you stick to broader markets only? Your recommendations?
A good move has happened in Voltas now, clearly showing a accumulation pattern in this stock. Now one can buy Voltas at current level, keep a stop loss of 1570 and a target price of 1664 and 1690 could be achievable in couple of days time. The second stock which I have selected is Crompton Greaves, which is currently trading at 452. Keep a stop loss of 428. Again, some accumulation patterns are being seen on the charts, and on the higher side, we expect this stock to test the levels of 502 and 520 levels in couple of days time.
Milleen, so Crompton and Voltas are your picks, both in fact from the consumer space coming in. So thanks so much for taking the time out and joining us. But let's keep it going with the technicals, and let me take it across to my colleague Shrishti, who's joined us in the studios and is going to share with us the stocks that she has spotted on the technical charts for us. Shrishti.
So given the move in the markets, we have spotted two breakout candidates today, and given that the whole oil and gas space was seeing good interest today, and one such stock was BPCL, where we have spotted a breakout because for today the stock was up by more than 3%, and if you will see, that's a flag and pole pattern that the stock has actually made, and taking a support exactly at its 20-day moving average is seen to be continuing its journey upwards. The stock is very close to its all-time high levels as well, and even today the move was very well supported by a long build up on the derivative side. So this is the first stock that we wish to highlight on the technical front. Moving on to the next counter, and even the metals were shining bright, and the brightest of them was Hindalco. Indeed, because the stock was up, the close was actually around 4% of gains. But for Hindalco, what was interesting to see that the stock has actually faced some resistance around 700 level, then went into a consolidation with the journey downwards, and now if you will see, that's a falling trend line breakout where the stock has witnessed a good up move of more than 3.5%, managed to break above its 20-day moving average as well, and given the move in the sector, it was leading the pack. So that's the second counter that we wish to highlight on the breakout side. Two stocks, both on the breakout side. Back to you.
All right, Srishti, thanks very much. BPCL and Hindalco, both of them were the top gainers today on the breakout. For the upside, you see, that's thanks for highlighting on the charts as well. Moving on, let's get you the word from the wise, and we had Manish Suntalia, MK's Manish Suntalia today with us. He is not too worried with respect to a bout of correction. He says that India is a stock picker's market and every dip will be bought into. Let's listen into a slice from the entire chart.
As far as India is concerned, I don't think this market is going to fall until and unless you have too much of excesses created in this market. Every dip will be bought into. Macros globally, apart from the Middle East tension, seems to be now on the course to see a rate cut sometime in September, October. And of course, that is also one of the factors where you have a risk on trade come through. Other important metrics which Warren Buffett commonly follows, the market cap to GDP. That has now crossed 127%. The last time we peaked for a very long time was 140%. So all in all, on the benchmark indices, if you were to move another 10-12%, we would hit that number. So I would say that because of the flows, etc., it is a stock pickers market.
That's the word coming in from Manish Sonthalia. But on that note, we're going to slip into a short breather on this edition of Your Trades. We'll be right back to talk about the day that we just saw. So you stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're watching Your Trades, and now from the derivative diary. Though the indices they ended on the flat note, but let's understand the kind of trend that exhibited Nifty. We saw a short covering trend. We did saw a move between 100 and 150 odd points, and there's clearly a short covering trend on Nifty. But Bank Nifty, which traded with a downward bias, there's a short built-up trend which is visible. India VIX is around 14.3, and the active calls where we saw, because there's active call writing which happened on 24,000 on the upper strikes, like 24,700, 24,600. 700 happens to be immediate resistance, and the support which we can see on Nifty in terms of wherein the maximum of the put writing has happened on the strikes, like 24,400, 24,500. Looks like we're in for some more bounce here.
Absolutely looking positive, at least on the derivative front. But let's just focus away from that, talk about the space to watch out for today. In fact, the big story of the day has to be new age tech stocks, because what a stellar run they've seen. The likes of Zomato and PB Fintech have almost doubled from 2024 lows. So is growth making a comeback, and do these stocks have more legs to this rally? Sharad is joining us to talk about this trend that he has spotted. Sharad.
Well, yes, from 2024 lows, if you still look at it, Zomato has doubled up, almost 116% up, and also PB Fintech, that's also doubled up. Now, these new age tech stocks have been rallying, and if you look at Paytm, Cartrade, Nykaa, they have also been going up, ranging between 33 to 70%. Now, what are the key reasons for the new age tech stocks actually gaining traction? First one being is importantly a sectoral churn. We have seen PSUs lately coming off from their 1 month high levels. There is a clarity on the path to profitability, and the companies have started explaining these things in their quarterly earnings. The focus is coming much more on the core business rather than the non-core business, and of course a strong cash balance. That is also something which analysts are bullish on when it comes to the new age tech stocks. Now, recent listings in 2024, the numbers right from their IPO price, they have been very rock solid. Of course, Unicommerce, that has doubled up 104%. Ola Electric is also nearing its doubling its number, almost 91% up from its IPO price. Ixigo, Honasa, GoDigit, all these companies in the new age segment were listed this year itself, and they have given handsome returns to the shareholders. Now let's look at the key commentaries, what is there actually in store for the new age tech stocks. The larger names, Zomato, strong growth is coming in the Q-commerce segment. In the Blinkit, especially Paytm, focusing on insurance in the mutual fund distribution. While if you look at PB Fintech, they are expected to be beneficiaries of GST rate rationalization, and also certain price hikes would be coming in. Nykaa, strong BPC, which is the beauty personal care segment, and also festive season is expected to kick in. So that is where the analysts are very bullish on. And for Cartrade, that has turned profitable over the last 2 quarters. Interestingly, we look at the key shareholdings also of the new age tech companies. Interesting names, interesting positions going up. Zomato, Nippon Mutual Fund and ICICI Pru Mutual Fund raised their positions. Paytm ace investor Akash Bhansali has 1.2% stake in the company. While for PB Fintech, if you look at it, Franklin Mutual Fund and Axis Mutual Fund did raise their positions. Nykaa are having significant larger family offices from Hero Group and erstwhile promoters of Ambuja Cement. While for Cartrade, we have Zerodha holding almost 1.1% stake, 7% stake in the company. Now, also look at the target prices. How's the setup coming in? Of course, there's a strong run-up. So that is what we have actually factored in. But still, there are certain companies where 10 to 20% of 12-month return potential is still there.
All right, that's a detailed analysis on new age stocks. Thanks very much, Sharad. Many of the stocks have doubled from 2024 lows, and one of the key reasons and some of the upgrades which Sharad was highlighting. Let's understand what market experts also have to say on the new age stocks. certainly the money is flowing into high growth sector. But speaking about Blinkit, Pankaj Murarka, CIO for Renaissance Investment Management, he says that they have established their presence in the grocery delivery market, and that's what the reason is. He feels that there's going to be a J-curve possible in terms of their growth. Let's listen into what exactly he said.
In case of Zomato, there is a clear case that Blinkit has established a clear-cut edge in terms of over competition in the quick delivery space. And obviously, India being a very large market where grocery and retail sales are about $800 billion, we can easily accommodate 4 to 5 players. So not everyone is going to win that battle, but Blinkit clearly seems to be one of those which is going to win that battle. Now, if you put that in context and of Blinkit being a leader in the quick commerce and in the grocery segment, then I think the potential value of that business 10 years out can be significantly higher, meaning it could be equivalent of what a DMart or Reliance Retail is, or probably will be going forward as well. Because the consumers are pivoting from going to malls to having this luxury of the goods being delivered to them at their home in 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So I think the growth potential is still very, very significant in that sense. And I still think that, there is a long runway for growth for all these businesses. When you talk about Zomato's food delivery business, mind you, their total customer base is just about 4% of India's population. Why can't about 15-20% of India's population be Zomato's customer base? Meaning, possibly over the next 10 years, I think that could be a probability in that sense. And in which case, probably the growth curve for them can be very long.
All right, let's shift away from the consumption story. And according to an Economic Times report this morning, a plan to divide the Murugappa group equally among 3 family groups that's been over 2 years in the making has hit a roadblock. We caught up with Muthu Murugappan, the Chief Executive Officer at Eid Parry. Let's go across and listen into what he had to say about the report.
My focus really is on the Eid Parry business. I think we have a challenging sort of landscape to navigate on the core business side, and a rapid scale up to take on the FMCG side. I think the article draws reference to the group at large.
Happens at a group level, you would be independently running Eid Parry. I'm just trying to understand that when group level splits happen, ownership and day-to-day business operations, they tend to change. So let's say if I'm asking this question on behalf of your shareholders of Eid Parry, and you've got some renowned mutual funds there, individual investors there, HNI investors there, how should they read into this report of Murugappa family split?
So Nikunj, I think as I said, my focus really is to take the mantle forward for Eid Parry, and I think that's really what I'm here to discuss.
Just a follow-up question. I'm not trying to dwell too much into it, but a lot of Murugappa group companies have cross-holdings amongst each other. Eventually, in a course of time, do you see that structure changing, or it will remain like this? Because it has remained like this for many years or many decades, actually.
So Nikunj, I mean, there's not anything I can report on that now. I think if there's anything concrete, then you would see, formal reports and releases from the group.
All right, moving on. Gaurav is here with us to get us more on the stocks which were buzzing in trade on the back of news or on the back of the news majorly. Gaurav, get us the list.
Well, yes. First, let's talk about Veranda Learning, because this company is pouring into Middle East. Now they have partnered with Jumeirah University to introduce charter accountancy preparation courses for the students, and that is why we saw this stock was locked in upper circuit of 5% today. Next, let's talk about Glenmark Pharma, because this company has launched its new product in terms of OTC in the US market, which has achieved annual sales of around 26.4 million in the last 1 year, and that is why we saw this stock was also up in trade today. And at the same time, we also saw Motilal Oswal actually increasing the target price to 1850 rupees for the stock. So there are 2 reasons why this stock was trading in green today. Next, let's talk about Piramal Enterprises, because promoter has now increased its stake to 46.3%. They have increased the stake by 0.27%, and that is why we saw some upside momentum in this stock as well. Next, let's talk about Jubilant Pharmanova, because company's subsidiary will acquire around 80% stake in Piera Faber Labs, and the acquisition cost is going to be around 4.4 million euros. And with this, they will be foraying into biologics and ADC segment, and will also benefit from these segment, and that is why we saw some more than 5% upside in this counter as well. And lastly, let's also watch out for Voltas, because we are seeing multiple a hike in target prices. So Jeffries has increased the target price to 1770 rupees, while Nomura also increased the target price to 1857 rupees for this counter. What they believe is that the growth outlook actually remains strong for the company. Management is expecting some high single digit margin in EMP segment, and some projects wins are also due in this year, and that is why we are seeing some positive momentum in this counter as well. So definitely watching out on all these counters on the back of the news flow as well as the brokerage note that we have received today.
All right, Gaurav, thanks so much for taking us through that list of stocks that were big buzzers today. Let's see what they do in tomorrow's trading session. But on that note, it's a goodbye from Priyanka, me and the entire team that put this show together. Thanks so much for watching Your Trades.